Hi, I'm Amanda from the Meatless Mama. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be making pizza crust from scratch. We're going to use half wheat flour, half bread flour. This is a quick and easy recipe. It does not require any rising time. And stay tuned because we will be sharing two of our pizza recipes with you, a pesto pizza and a taco pizza. Measure out 2 cups of warm water between 105 and 115 degrees Fahrenheit. Next, you need 2 packets of active dry yeast. Dump that into the warm water. And 2 teaspoons of sugar. Then you're going to stir that. And then you're going to cover it and set it aside in a warm place for about 10 minutes. While your yeast is activating, scoop out 2.5 cups of whole wheat flour. Notice I'm using 1 measuring cup to scoop into the other measuring cup. This keeps the flour from getting packed down. We want it light and fluffy. Then you'll need 2.5 cups of bread flour. In order for it to be whole grain rich, I used an extra tablespoon of wheat flour and I took away a tablespoon of white flour, bread flour, but you don't have to do that. That's 2 teaspoons of salt. And then you can mix those up in your stand mixer. You need 4 tablespoons of olive oil. You could also just use 1/4 of a cup of olive oil. That's the same as 4 tablespoons. Your yeast mixture, yeast, water, and sugar will be fluffy, and you can pour that in using the paddle attachment and mix that up, and then switch to the dough hook and just let it go for a minute or two just so it's formed a ball. Then you're going to cover that and let it rest for 5 minutes. There is no rising time. All you do is the 5-minute rest and then you can cut up your dough. I cut mine into 8 pieces so I could make 8 small pizzas. You could also do 2 large pizzas. And then you roll your pizzas out. You need about an 8-inch in diameter. When you are making vegetarian pizza, it's good to par-bake the crust, so partially bake the crust, because the vegetables on your pizza may sweat and it would make the crust a little soggy. So what I like to do is I take my raw dough and I par-bake it at 425 for 4 to 5 minutes. My oven is already preheated. It does not really matter that you have one rack higher than the other. Okay, so the pizza has been par-baked now, and I'm going to go ahead and transfer it to some cooling racks because I'm doing 2 batches. Whenever I make pizza crust, I make 2 batches so that I can freeze half. I can either freeze them like this, just par-baked with nothing on them, or I can freeze them with all the toppings, but still the crust itself will just be par-baked. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other batch in the oven to par-bake those, and then I'm gonna start assembling pizzas and baking just half of them. I know what you're thinking, you don't have time to make a homemade crust, so I have a time-saving hack for you. If you don't have time for a homemade crust, you can use naan bread. So they make it in different sizes. This is the miniature version. I like to use that for the kids. And this is the more of a personal pan pizza size for the adults or for the kids, and you can cut it up. And my favorite is the whole wheat, which I found at my Kroger. And you can find this at Walmart, but I only found the white there. So it might not be at your store in the whole wheat version. So our second batch of crusts have been par-baked. I'm going to show you today what we're doing is taco pizza. So for our sauce, we're just going to be doing 2 ingredients, refried beans and salsa. I am using vegetarian refried beans because if you just get the regular, then it might have lard in it. Of course, if you're not vegetarian, then that probably won't matter to you. You're supposed to use a whole can of refried beans. I have about 3/4 of a can, and if I need more, I have another can I can open up. And you need 1 cup of salsa. I always use mild salsa because I don't like the spice. This is about 2 cups, so if I need more, I can get more. And I'm just going to stir that together and get it all mixed. So the sauce is mixed and it's ready to be spread onto the pizza crust. So these are the crusts that I'm going to continue to assemble and then immediately bake. I have my other crusts over on the cooling rack that will be assembled and then frozen. I'm going to go ahead and spread my sauce on those crusts and see if I might need a little bit more or if this is going to be enough for the 4 crusts. So for our taco pizza, we are going to be using corn and olives and cheese and then bake it. We have our pizzas ready to go in the oven with just the sauce, the corn, the olives, and the cheddar cheese. The rest of the toppings will be added after they bake. So we're going to bake these at 425 for about 10 to 12 minutes, and then we'll check on them. If they need more time, we can cook them longer. We can switch the pans if we need to. So we have our extra pizzas that we are going to freeze and save for another meal. What you see is I have par-baked the crust and then I've assembled the pizzas, but I have not baked them again. Now I'm going to put them in the freezer uncovered for about 3 hours. And what this does is it hardens the cheese, and then I can wrap them in foil, or you could use plastic wrap. Put them in gallon Ziploc bags, or you could use leftover tortilla bags or something that you've already got in your kitchen. The reason why we leave them uncovered is because if we covered them right away, then all the cheese would stick to the foil or the bag or whatever we're wrapping them in. So we let them freeze for 3 hours and then we cover them, and then we can save them for several months in the freezer. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead, and my pizza's cooked now. I'm going to assemble my fresh ingredients on top, and then it's time to eat. I would start with the tomatoes because when the pizza's still hot, I don't want to put the lettuce directly on that. And add my shredded lettuce. This is shredded romaine. It's actually left over from a salad kit. We like to find the salad kits when they get marked down. And then here's my tip for using the sour cream. I put the sour cream in a sandwich size Ziploc bag, and then I'm going to cut just the tip off the end. And then I can drizzle it.
on top of my pizza. Another thing you could do is you could dilute the sour cream in the tub or in another bowl with water. You could add a little bit of lime juice, and then you'd be able to use a spoon or a fork, and it would be thin enough that you could drizzle it that way. This is a very good brand of sour cream, by the way. And now it's ready to eat.
Pesto pizza, I started with garlic, cloves in the food processor, added some lemon juice, about a tablespoon, blend that up and let it sit. The garlic is going to marinate inside the lemon juice and it will help it to not be as sharp. Add the steamed spinach and then add the pesto. Process that until it's all blended. And there is your pesto sauce. On our pesto pizzas, the adults put broccoli and green bell peppers on ours. Our son chose just to put cherry tomatoes on his, and then we all used the mozzarella cheese. We baked those for 10 to 12 minutes at 425 degrees. We had extra pesto sauce left over, so we mixed it in with some leftover mashed potatoes, and my son ate that while he was waiting for the pizzas to cook.
Do you think you're going to eat it or just take one bite and be done?
Eat it.
Okay. So that is all we have for you today. Thank you for watching. Leave a comment below if you want to see more pizza recipes, and we will see you later.